Oh, there you are.
Okay, folks, we are live. I shared the link with you guys. Welcome to the Ripple Effect Live with Dave and Erica for September 28th. Sorry about the background noise. I have a 5-year-old here who has some pretty good volume. We welcome a special guest today, a vocalist, Paige Patrick. Paige, thanks a lot for joining us today. We're going to get to Paige, but let me introduce my co-host, Erica Gimbel, and have her tell us a little bit about why she selected Paige to come on today. Erica, can you hear us? I think Erica's having some technical difficulties. You are muted. Let us know when we get your audio back, Erica. Um, Otherwise, I'm going to just turn it over to Paige to let her introduce herself and tell us a bit about her and her singing career and her business. And then we're actually going to have her show a clip. She's actually trained as an opera singer and has some very impressive work that we're going to look at. So, Paige, with that, welcome to the Ripple Effect, and I'll turn it over to you to introduce yourself.
Thanks for having me, David. So I am a singer through and through. I started singing when I was a little girl, and officially started studying it when I was about 14. Got 2 degrees in it, and then have been teaching for about 10 years. I'm trained as an opera singer, but I got my start in jazz from South Texas, and so I have a love for country and folk. And then I got my master's in Tennessee, so I love bluegrass, and it's really all about the singing voice, no matter what the style.
It's so great to have you here, Paige. Can you hear me?
Yes, Erica. Hey.
Yay, I'm back. I was doing too many things for my same device. Don't do that.
Yeah, no problem. For whatever reason, Erica, I think just stay unmuted because it puts you on speaker view when we have you muted. Zoom does weird things with the settings. Um,
Okay.
just aside here, one of the things about running a live broadcast. So, with that, Paige, you mind showing us a clip there of you on stage doing and just tell us what it is, and then go ahead and
Yeah.
show it to us.
Okay, so this is a snippet of me singing One Life to Live. And that's a musical theater piece. This was from a stage performance from about 3 years ago.
Great,
Yeah.
well done. Can I turn it over to Erica? To Erica, we I have you down for the first part of the interview here.
Okay, great. So I'm so excited that you're on our Ripple Effect page. And Paige Patrick is my voice teacher, and I've known her for a number of years. And in the start of COVID, I I got an email that said, "Do you want to come and sing as part of this cabaret soiree for her birthday?" And I was like, "Heck to the yes!" And so it just brings me so much joy to get to sing with you, and so fun to have you on this ripple effect. I don't know if David, you didn't get to say much about the ripple effect, but this is all about, healthy lifestyle shifts that create change for catalysts for your life. So I see singing as a big time catalyst for positivity, and we'd love you to share how you're doing right now. Anything you want to say about your story? I sure appreciate how I've seen you blow up your business in a good way, and so please get on here and speak to us.
Yeah. Thank you, Erica. You know, my whole life I wanted to be a singer, except that I had this natural natural skill and drive to share things with people that I was excited about. And so teaching singing was kind of a no-brainer. I do sing as a performer, and I'm a live performer, so there's not really much to do right now. And I was a little bit bored of that, so I launched this virtual cabaret project back in June as a way of celebrating my birthday gently over the month and feeling connected to other singers and getting to do meaningful work. And it was the best birthday ever. I think that singing is something that can be developed as a skill, and that stage fright doesn't really have to stop you. The more you know, the less scared you can become. And then that there are a lot of assumptions we make about singing in general that don't really serve us. When it's right there within reach, it's incredibly transformative, and it is a big catalyst for connection with yourself and with the world around you, with other people. So I help people incorporate singing into their lives in whatever aspect it feels comfortable for them. And some people sing in their shower, and some people sing on stage, and I'm here for all of it. So
So glad that you took a step towards that during this time. I mean, I think it's so important for business professionals to figure out a way to make things work and to be engaged. So you're doing it. And what did you tell me? You're like more busy than ever?
yeah, actually, the pandemic, it forced me to be 100% online, and I thought at first like, oh gosh, what am I going to do? But I realized also I'm saving like 8 hours a week in commute time, and I have filled that with work. And I also work for a high school choir department, so now that school started, it's like go time. I'm doing a lot of work. And I have about 20 clients that I see on a regular basis, plus my high school, plus my community choir that I'm in, plus anyone that signs up for the cabaret. And then I work for a nonprofit that promotes a singing competition. So I'm busy.
Yes,
Great.
you are.
Mhm.
And so what do you want to say to people about coming and singing with you for, your next thing next month? I mean, I'm jumping all over the place in the interview, but I'm so excited about what you're creating, and how you create possibility where there wasn't possibility with our voice.
Mhm. Um, so as far as singing with me, you can either sign up for lessons, which is like an ongoing, regular thing where we have big goals that we go for over time, or you can join me for a virtual cabaret. I am running one. There's a performance tomorrow night that you could just join in to watch and get an idea for. Erica is singing in it. And yay, I'm so proud of her. It took her about 4 seconds to say yes when I invited her in June, and then she did the July one, and then we skipped September, and then here we are. Or wait, we skipped August. This is September, so we're doing the September one tomorrow night at 6:30, and then we'll have another one in October on the 30th, which is a Friday night, and it'll be costumey, Halloween themed, and to that, when you sing, you and I get to pick a song together. Some people have their song in mind. Others, need some guidance in choosing a song. And what's interesting is each cabaret has its own vibe because I really don't set the theme, um, and each person brings what they have to offer for that month, what's on their heart that month, and then that all kind of jives together to kind of create this really organic, once in a lifetime experience. And we all get together and sing for each other on Zoom, just like this. And those performances are, you know, led up to with 4 lessons with me over the course of the month, to get the song ready to go in whatever way you need, whether that's help with memorization, help with a singing task like a high note, or just help with expression or comfort level in singing. I'm here for it, in all aspects.
I love Oh, sorry. I love that about how inclusive you are for people to sing at whatever level they're at, all different kinds of styles. We had the classical singer on with us. We had somebody coming from, where were they coming from? Hong Kong?
Yes, one of my students is in Hong Kong, so while we meet on, say, a Tuesday night, she's there on her Wednesday morning.
Amazing.
Hmm.
Amazing. So cool. So, this is what I got to do in New York when I lived in New York years ago. And it was such a joy to do that with the community that my voice teacher created over in New York. So that's why I'm so thrilled you're doing this now in these months where I think people are so, struggling with mood and energy. So I just think it's so positive what you're creating. And I
Hmm.
hope people tune in for y'all and then come play with you. So
That's right. Thanks, Erica. And you talk about mood. The best thing you can do for yourself during this time is to sleep and take care of your body, and then create space to work out your feelings, to allow your creativity to come back if you're feeling kind of dulled by the stress of the world right now. And the last thing that I did for myself is warm up every day. And so now that I'm warming up every day and doing drills by about lunchtime, because musicians, we're not really early risers, um, I feel so much better. I feel so much more creative and ready to go versus the first, 6 weeks or 8 weeks or so where I just felt really stifled.
yeah. And I'd love to see, what's your favorite warm up? If you want to share that, not to put you on the spot, but I'd love for you to share that. And for me, I mean, I'm really sensitive to the smoke. And just now today, just we have a little bit more smoke today. And, you
Mm-hmm.
know, I got all my windows closed pretty much. And, I'm just going to take it really easy today. And, it's amazing how sensitive we can be with these lungs that work for us all the time. So if you have any tips for people about staying safe with their singing and their lungs, I'm sure people will really appreciate your input.
Yeah, I'd say the best thing you can do for yourself is breathe through your nose, even when you have your mask on, because your nose will clean, humidify, and warm the air before it hits your vocal folds. And so, my favorite drill for that is an NG sound. So, think of the word song, and you feel how your tongue goes, and it raises up in the back at the very end of the word. And so I say, song, song. And I let that NG be the thing that carries the pitch. And that gets everything kind of warmed up in my nose. And it's very gentle to the vocal folds. So it helps me get ready in the day.
Yeah, we love the medicine of the sound and the humming and it just feels like medicine to our vocal cords and our throat. What's this called again? The
The
um,
larynx?
the larynx, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, we need to be good too. I do some weird things with my larynx. So I'm always like, I need to like bring that down, bring that down, bring that down. So I really appreciate how you've worked with me to like help this calm down and get with the program and not be so in a fight flight state. It can relax, and
Yes.
that's when I can be more open. So yes.
Awesome.
And with that, let's get to her demonstration. Then we had a couple additional questions for you, if you don't mind, Paige.
Awesome. Okay. I'm going to make sure that my Bluetooth speaker is connected here. And
If you don't mind telling us a little bit about what you're going to sing and kind of the significance of it to you.
Yeah. So this is In the Wee Small Hours of the Morning. It's a jazz standard, and this is something that I learned in college. I got to sing it with my jazz choir, and those years were just so special. Those people were so special that I love to bring this song back. It's sort of a moment where it's the middle of the night and you're unable to sleep and you're running lots and lots of thoughts over and over again in your head. So,
Great.
yeah.
Thank you.
When the sun is high in the afternoon sky, you can always find something to do. But from dusk till dawn, as the clock ticks on, something happens to you. In the wee small hours of the morning, while the whole wide world is fast asleep, you lie awake and you think about the boy and never ever think of counting sheep. When your lonely heart has learned its lesson, you'd be his if only he would call. In the wee small hours of the morning, that's the time you miss him most of all.
Bravo, bravo. I did want to ask you about your musical influences and kind of if that's changed over the course of your career, and so kind of where you're coming from and from your place of music. Yeah.
So, my first influences were 90s country, female artists like Faith Hill, Winona Judd, Bonnie Raitt. And what I like about them is that they're power players, they're powerful women. And then I discovered Celine Dion when I was in middle school, and it was all over from there because she sang long, high notes, loud, super drama. And I couldn't hang with her, but I certainly tried. And then as I got into classical music, I added classical influences like Eileen Farrell, who sings jazz and classical. But generally, any music that is vocal centric is interesting to me. Does it have a good melody line? Is the voice free? That is what is attractive to me.
Excellent. And I know you've been doing a lot of teaching during this time, which required a pivot. Could you just tell us about kind of the difference of looking back before kind of COVID and how you've had to pivot and kind of the differences in the methods that you got to use for teaching and kind of the results?
Of course. So I have to now do more with my groups. I have to do more demonstration because everybody else is on mute. But with my individuals, it's really not that different because we're face to face, we're having a conversation, and I have the ability to tell whether you're holding your breath, whether you're here in my studio or whether you're home in your kitchen. So one thing that I have gotten a lot of is toys. So, for example, when I am explaining the way that a breath needs to feel, I might use this Hoberman sphere and say, okay, guys, when you sing, you don't want to go, you want to go, and go ahead and tug on that breath in an expanded fashion. So it's actually been really fun. And on top of it, I've gotten to do a lot of theory deep dives with some of my younger students who don't have the background in music theory, and they've grown a lot as musicians in this time.
I love the visual of that, and you also have this other thing that you blow on, the
Oh, yeah.
pinwheel.
Yes, the breath. It should be continuous. So, part of it's just to entertain me, but it's very entertaining to my students.
Yeah, but you keep those kids engaged and interacting with you. So I bet you have a boom with your students that are of the kid type, the children type.
Yes, and because they are so geared to screens anyway, they take really well to the online learning. I'd say everybody's a little zoomed out, but they're hanging in there.
Great. That's so cool. So, what do you think is going to happen with this as we proceed into these months and into 2021? What do you see the future of singing is for your performers, your students? That's a big question, but take any part of it.
It's a big question. I would say that if you're a soloist, it's going to be easier to get back into things. There are already opera companies that are putting on performances where there are fewer people in the audience, and they've done their due diligence on being safe. And if you're a singer songwriter, you can go out there and sing if you get enough distance with people. But the collaborative music is, I think, going to be slower, especially choral music, slower to get back into things. But for now, we're working virtually. Like, I'm in a community chorus, and we do a rehearsal every single week, and we're working on our music, and we're going to be ready to go for either a virtual project, like one of those grid choirs, or we will just be amazing in January when we can finally get together, or whenever that is. But one thing that I've noticed about the younger students is that the virtual choirs do feel like togetherness to them. So they're satisfied. Um, and there are companies out there making masks for singers that stick out like a duckbill so that you can get good resonance. There are companies building shields where you can sing in a little cubby and all the sound will still go that way, but no one will get your germs on the back of their head. So there are a lot of people trying to make music
Wow,
work.
that's amazing. Wow. That's what we'll need to do because didn't you say like our spray goes potentially
Yeah.
16 feet?
We need about 16 feet. And the thing is, in voice lessons, you're trying to learn how to project more, how to speed up your air more versus, singing small. We want to sing really freely. And so, you don't know where that's landing.
Wow, amazing. So, what other things do you want to tell everyone? Paige, Patrick, we have on our Ripple Effect, and we're so excited to have you on here. If you're just tuning in, you can find Paige Patrick by her website, paigepatrickvoice.com.
Mhm.
And what else do you want to make sure people know about you, Miss Paige
I,
Patrick?
I had something, hold that thought, but I did
Sure.
want to get to um, who you like to work with and how you can help them with your voice. And I didn't want to cut you off there, but I want to make sure we got to
No
that
worries.
because we talked about that a bit earlier.
Yeah, so I work with teens, tweens, and adults of all levels. So age 10 is a really good place to start with me. I do have a couple of littles like 6 and 7, but I'd say that um, when the voice starts maturing is around that 10, 11 range. And then, I work with people individually, or I work with groups, for, let's say, they want a deep dive in vocal technique for their praise and worship team at a church, or, I can come in and talk to a high school choir about different vocal warm ups and things like that. So I'm available to guest in that way. but I work with people who have long-term goals to develop their voice and who just want to sing for a month. My cabaret is, 4 lessons and a performance, and that's all. So I am open to lots and lots of conversations.
Great, thank you. And um, I know you have a. Could you tell us a little bit about the events that you have coming up? I know you mentioned them earlier, but what the events are and who can sign up and how to sign up to.
hmm So the event is the Virtual Cabaret Project. We're having one tomorrow night. That's Tuesday, September 29th at 6:30. I think David, you'll post that Evite link. If you're interested in going, just RSVP there, and I will email you and give you the password. Give you learn a little bit about you. If you are interested in singing, perhaps in the October one, you can email me at paigepatricksoprano@gmail.com. Soprano is Soprano at gmail.com. And we can get to talking about what might be a good fit for you.
Great. And I don't know if you wanted to return to Erica's question about anything else you wanted to share, and if Erica had any closing comments or questions, have at it. And we're just about at time, but we have about 3 or 4 more minutes here. If you,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Yeah, so the only thing I was going to mention was my website, which Erica did. It's paigepatrickvoice.com, and that has my email address and I think my phone number there. If you want to just go there in order to email me, that'd be great.
great.
Yeah, we're
And
so excited that you could be on here, Paige. So grateful, and I'm excited about tomorrow as usual. And it's a kind of like nervousness, and then it'll be fine, and then what am I doing? And then I go through the whole gamut. So it's so
Yeah,
fun, and I feel so welcomed and encouraged by you. So I appreciate what you're doing, how you support us, and the camaraderie is awesome.
thank you.
So glad you could be here with us today.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
great. With that, we will close out the ripple effect here for September 28th with Paige Patrick. We'll put the links down in the chat. And thanks so much for sharing your music with us today and your story and your experience under COVID. Really an inspiration for everyone, even if they're not singers, but just how you pivoted your business. And thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you so much.
Bye, everyone.